welcome back to Six Invitational. We are about to kick off our Year 5, Year 6, and beyond panel. And I'm your host, Rachel. I'm very lucky to be joining you. First, we're going to go into esports, where we're going to talk about the future of competitive Rainbow Six. And then, it's pretty exciting stuff.
Estamos de vuelta y ya estamos con este reveal que va a marcar un antes y un después en la historia de Rainbow Six. Reveal de esports, reveal de este año 5.
Y parte del 6, según comentaban.
Cuidado. Vamos con el primer vídeo de este reveal.
Il y a vraiment un lien fort et fondamental entre le contenu et l'e-sport. C'est pas un hasard si systématiquement, quand nous on a des années de transition de contenu, c'est le moment où l'e-sport fait aussi ses années de transition. Parce que les deux sont liés. Penser le contenu, penser la façon dont on va interagir avec les joueurs, c'est forcément penser la façon dont les équipes vont interagir avec le jeu et donc avec la compétition. Ce jeu, dès le début, dans son ADN, a la compétition en lui.
The qualification to Six Invitational is quite complicated right now. You have different paths to SI. So the new Rainbow Six circuit is going to be a one-year season. 2021 we will fully transition into the new system. So the new timeline will be a 9-month season for each of the regions. That will also be the global competition that we have. This will be followed by a 2-month off-season. In January, once we have determined the top 16 teams going to Six Invitational, we'll have 4 regional qualifiers. Each of these qualifiers will generate 1 more additional team per region, that will have 20 teams going to SI in 2021. We want to showcase that we are rewarding consistency. We have split up the 9-month season into 3 snapshots. The top 4 teams from each region will qualify to the major. They are automatically eligible for points. The amount depends on their placement in the major, but also the next 4 teams in line in each region will be earning points. Let's take an example. Team Secret, they've made it to each major because they've been top 4 in their region respectively for each of the snapshots. But they've never done a great placement at these majors. They have earned enough points to be rewarded and to be invited to the Six Invitational. The regions are changing individually based on their needs and wants and listening to their community. The APAC region, for example, is vastly different than the NA region. Even though the regions are becoming different from each other, the global circuit works.
Chaque nouvelle weapon dans Rainbow Six, chaque nouvelle carte, chaque nouvel opérateur passe dans les mains des joueurs professionnels avant d'être dans les mains des joueurs normaux. On fait ce qu'on appelle des pro workshops, où on invite des joueurs du monde entier pour arriver vraiment à rendre le jeu intéressant, super compétitif, super riche, et ils peuvent vraiment nous aider à améliorer ça.
Phase 3 is building off of the pilot program set in stone for us. We're increasing a lot of the revenue sharing with the organizations, including more organizations, and in general, creating a more robust system for these businesses to thrive in Rainbow Six. We have 3 distinct levels of support in our revenue sharing program. This lets us support not only the giant organizations who have a worldwide footprint, but also the smaller organizations endemic to Rainbow Six Siege. In addition to that, we also have a ranking system that allows organizations to move between these 3 tiers of support as they grow with our ecosystem. In addition to all the other changes we're making to the revenue sharing program, the last and probably most important one is that it's going to be extended over the course of 4 years so that everyone involved has an idea of what's to come when it comes to their financial future in Siege.
Aujourd'hui sur Siege, je pense qu'on est en train vraiment de prendre toutes les bonnes décisions et je sais que ça va ne faire que grandir et que c'est une question de temps et d'années avant qu'il s'impose comme le plus grand e-sport sur la planète.
We're extremely excited about the future of Rainbow Six esports. We're cleaning up the timeline, we're making it easier to understand, but at the same time we're bringing more depth to the system, we're increasing the number of teams at the Six Invitational, and of course this whole system is scalable for the future to come.
Esto es un completo all-in por parte de Ubisoft. Ojo a lo que viene en el futuro. Hemos visto muchísimas cosas. Cambio en las regiones, cambio en la forma de clasificar al Six Invitational. Vamos a tener un sistema por puntos que va a consistir en 3 stages, 3 splits, en los que se van a repartir 8.655 puntos. Los 16 mejores equipos irán al Six Invitational, 4 spots de clasificatorios para un total de 20 equipos en ese Six Invitational de 2021.
La verdad que tiene muy buena pinta. Aparte hablaban del tema de cómo definirán eran las seasons, pero seguimos
You
escuchando.
know, the Brazilian players, they really put the bra in Brazil.
Ahí está, siguientes finales de Pro League que van a ser en Brasil.
Watch all this unfold over the past couple of weeks, but you know, we've got something coming up here. What do you think of this one?
That's our script. Okay, so we have. Oh my God, this is amazing. It's going to be amazing. We have a great finals coming up. We can't tell you the results yet, Rachel, but you'll see.
I'm looking forward to it all play out. You know, we knew how Titanic ended. We still went to see that movie. So we have been introduced to the circuit in the Dev Diary. Is this the biggest change coming to Rainbow Six Esports yet?
Absolutely. So my personal opinion, yes, this is the biggest change that we've seen for Rainbow Six Siege.
El mayor cambio
and,
en la escena de
I'm super
esports de Rainbow
excited
Six.
about it. But it's more important that our fans and our community answer this question for themselves. So let's talk about the facts. Rainbow Six Siege and Rainbow Six Siege Esports have been growing and evolving for the past 4 years. It's an ongoing process that has never stopped.
Hablando de la evolución de
But we
Rainbow
have
Six
reached
como
the
eSport y como
size
título en
and
los
a level
últimos
of
años.
maturity for our program where we wanted and needed to go back to the drawing board to see what makes the most sense.
Well, all this growth seems to be well planned for. We got a quick look at the timeline in the video, but can you give us some more insights into that?
All right, yeah, as you've seen in the video, we're moving to a 9-month season with a 2 months off season. This is based on the feedback that we have been receiving from players and organizations across the entire world. They need that 2 months off period to prepare, practice, and rejuvenate for the World Championship. And it helps us, of course, to create a narrative that starts at the end of the Six Invitational and leads us to the next one. This is
Eso
becoming
ayudará a
our
crear una
journey
narrativa
to the
de
World
todo el
Championship.
año en los esports de Rainbow Six.
How 2021 is going to
Que
go. It sounds
comenzaban
like it's going to be
con el
exciting.
final del Six Invitational y duraban
Folks, we
9
still
meses
have a
después.
whole year to get through. It's 2020. How's the rest of this year going to play out?
So 2020
Hablando
is
de
going to be a
2020 ahora,
transition
estas son
year.
las finales que tendremos en Sao
Right
Paulo.
now we're in the middle of the Pro League season 11, and of course, we will conclude this season with the beloved Pro League finals. And there's no better place to go than Sao Paulo in Brazil.
Estamos viendo además cómo nos enseñan en
It sounds like the
agosto y en
Brazilian
noviembre
fans have certainly
dos
earned
majors,
it
una en
after
Norteamérica y otra en Europa.
Yeah, absolutely. And after that, we're kicking off the new 2020 model. It's going to be a bit shorter than the full 2021 year, but we're taking 2 majors into the ecosystem now. First major in August, that's going to be in North America, and then the second major of the year over the pond in Europe.
Ooh, and then 2021 introduces the first full year
Un año
circuit, right?
algo más corto,
Yeah,
pero con
absolutely.
2 majors. Es una especie de sistema híbrido entre el que tenemos ahora y el que vendrá en el futuro en 2021. Ahí vienen las fechas, el timeline del año que viene.
Uy, tenemos 3 majors ahí, Europa, Norteamérica y APAC.
The second major in August, we're going to
Se
North
atrasan un
America
poco
once
esos
again.
majors de
And
Europa
last
y de
but not least, for
Norteamérica.
the third major
No,
in
perdón,
November,
se ponen más
we have
pronto
APAC.
para dar paso a ese Asia Pacific Major y para poner esos clasificatorios en enero.
Como dicen, 9 meses de temporada, enero y febrero, diciembre y enero, mejor dicho, que quedan dentro de la off-season en la que están los clasificatorios de cada región para darle esas 4 plazas extras del Six Invitational.
The entire competition throughout the year is based on that, and we want to guarantee that the top 16 teams in the world are actually getting invited to the Six Invitational.
El fin último que es que los 16 mejores equipos vayan al Six Invitational, o sea que se pone fin a la plaza de invitación y ese sistema por puntos será una clasificación de los 16 mejores equipos del mundo.
Que nos ayudará también a saber cuál es el ranking mundial real de Rainbow Six.
Ojo a esto, que es un ejemplo. Ahí tenemos divididos por los splits, Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3 y el equipo.
Si, por ejemplo, ganaras un Major pero no tuvieras importancia en los demás, te podrías quedar fuera de la Invitational.
They don't have enough points to make it to SI.
See, but maybe a more consistent team.
Yeah. So in the second example, it's actually the same one that we've showed in the video.
Es el ejemplo que han puesto en el vídeo de Team Secret, que llegó al top 4 del Major, pero que no le daban los puntos, si no me equivoco.
5 points in the second stage, and they consistently perform, so they earn another 275 points in their third stage. And at the end of the year, we look at the global point standing, and we see, yes, based on the 825 points, they are in the top 16.
All right, so
Esto
any other
forzará a los
scenarios we
equipos
want
a
to cover
tomarse
there?
muy en serio cada pasito en la temporada.
Let's see, we've got a new team that's come into our ecosystem recently. They're struggling to find their footing, but they've qualified to a couple of majors before the end of the season. But at this last major, they have a breakout performance. They finally get it all together. They win the whole thing. Because of that sort of presence, but not necessarily winning, they've earned enough points to make it to Six Invitational after that last major win.
Wow, so being
Ahí
consistent,
veíamos
staying in
como
it,
si un
playing
equipo
every
crece
match,
exponencialmente y
that's gonna
consigue
get you to the
esos
end.
puntos,
Gotta earn
podrá
those points, but I
clasificarse
gotta
para el
wonder,
próximo
are there
Six
any
Invitational.
other ways that teams could qualify?
¿Cómo se van a clasificar los equipos a los Majors?
Oh, tell me.
4 additional teams will make it to the Six Invitational.
No, Six Invitational.
One from each
Clasificatorios.
region at the end or beginning of the year, depending on how you see it.
Yeah, so these offline qualifiers were especially important to us. We wanted to make sure that this was an open ecosystem. We had regional representation. And one day, Zaku, I know you're out there somewhere, we want to see Adventure Force on this main stage.
I love it, putting in that wild card option. Now, you guys have really built this to be a global system. So walk me through the system, why it was built this way, what the thought was behind it.
So we really wanted these cross-regional rivalries to exist beyond just at the offline events, at our offline tournaments, right? So the point system is designed in a way that every team has an impact on the global point standing, and that is important to us. Even if your favorite team is not eligible for the Six Invitational anymore because they cannot earn enough points, they still have the chance to knock out different teams, eventually even from different regions, out of the running. And I think that's super cool. It will keep the engagement alive. We hope that our viewers and fans will not just watch what's happening
los equipos que no están en el Six
but also
Invitational,
watch
que van a poder tener la oportunidad de pegarse en esos Majors y en otro tipo de eventos. Ha dicho que fuera de ese camino al Six Invitational, no sabemos a qué se refiere.
A lot of communication between our inter-regional communities. We want people to watch regions that they don't normally watch and make a lot of theories about who's going to make it to SI, who's not going to make it to SI, what's the storyline at the end of the year.
So when I head over to the water cooler at the Ubisoft office, we can talk about a lot of different options for who might be making it to
It's
the
exactly
Invitational.
that, yeah. And it's also, you know, for the casual viewer out there, it's easy to understand because essentially the point system only
Hablan
updates
que
3
este
times
sistema
per year.
es muchísimo
So
más
you
fácil
go
de
on the
entender,
website,
ya
you
que
check your
en
favorite
todo
team is
momento
currently
tendremos
in the
opción para
running
ver
or
este
not,
ranking de
and then
puntos
after 3 months you can check it
y
again.
va a ser más
But
justo
then
en
for
general para los equipos.
I would say the mathematically gifted, they can try to calculate each team's chance to still make it to the Six Invitational. And I think we can all agree that this is much better than speculating who Ubisoft will invite for the last slot.
Dice que es un sistema mucho más justo que especular a quién va a invitar Ubisoft al próximo Six Invitational. Ahí guiñito a la polémica con G2.
Sí, da para memes, pero no para la justicia.
The biggest thing that people are going to notice right off the bat is we're going
Ojo,
from 8
importante,
teams to 10
regiones.
teams in
10
most of our
equipos en cada
competitive
región, salvo en
regions.
que habrá 12.
Kind of wild card, but we're going up to 12 there.
So as you break down these regions, what would be the focus of each of them? Let's start with North America.
So North America, I think the biggest one, moving to a LAN environment.
Right, and then you get to do
Genial
shoulder content,
tendrá la
lots of
Pro League en
insight
LAN,
into
bueno,
the
o la
players.
competición.
Eventos en LAN.
Eventos en
Now,
LAN,
what about for
exacto.
So in Europe, we're focusing on the national programs. They will have a direct path into the global competition.
En Europa, las ligas nacionales van a dar paso a
Tell me
la competición
what's going on
europea.
in
No
Live.
sabemos a qué se refiere, pero le van a dar
VR6
más peso a las competiciones nacionales.
for us to
Spain
build
National
off
espera
of.
el 18.
That's going to be
Por si
the
acaso.
primary focus, but we're also adding in some new competitive areas there to build up more Latin American competition and maybe bring them to SI someday.
How do you guys like the sound
Le
of
van a dar
that?
más infraestructura a Latinoamérica, quizá algún día llevando el Six Invitational ahí.
Y la equiparan a 10 equipos a lo que habían anunciado de que subían plazas en Europa y en Norteamérica.
As well, we will have 2 divisions. We will have the North Division with Japan, South Korea, and Southeast Asia.
Solo
and
dos
then
divisiones
in
en
the
APAC.
South Division will create
Norte y
new
Sur.
exciting opportunities for the already existing Oceanic region, but also up-and-coming territories such as South Asia.
I know you guys have put a lot of thought into this program and building
Oceanía
these
se
regions. So why
uniría
have you constructed it
a
this
ASEA.
way?
It was constructed with scalability in mind. So, moving forward, we have the ability to add new countries into each of these divisions, but we also have the ability to add divisions into the primary regions. And last but not least, we're not afraid to expand beyond the 4 existing regions of Europe, NA, LATAM, and Asia Pacific.
Acabo de
Well,
decir que no
it sounds like
tienen
the
miedo
entire
de expandir y de hacer más regiones de las
esports
4
program is
grandes que están
growing. So I
actualmente. O sea que
is
quizás
it the
veamos
same for the
en el
red
futuro
share program?
CIS, que sería Rusia y
So,
algún
as
país
you saw in
más.
the video,
Veremos
we're
qué
going
pasa.
from 10 teams
Ojo,
in phase
Pilot
1,
Program, que pasa a
14
llamarse
teams in
Ser
phase 2,
Revenue.
all the way up
Vemos
to
las fases,
44
primero 10
teams
equipos,
in our
luego
phase 3
14,
program.
por último 44.
Not only that,
A nivel
but 4
mundial.
years long,
Quieren
this
cubrir
is
a 44 equipos dentro de este
long-term support to our
Ser Revenue,
organizations,
antiguamente
esports.
conocido como Pilot Program.
44 teams. Is every one of those 44 teams going to receive support?
Absolutely. It's not just about the teams either. We're talking about support for the players. We're talking about support for content creators. We want this to be an end-to-end
Ojo,
system.
no solamente jugadores, sino creadores de contenido también.
Y estos serán los tiers de este share revenue.
Yeah, we're guaranteeing minimum support through the team microtransactions. The players will be receiving direct support from all of you guys out there who are buying their skins. Content creators attached to teams are going to be receiving the same support. And how these organizations
creo que está subiendo ese al escenario.
Por detrás, creo. Keep this scene healthy.
Pero también es de aplaudir.
You said a lot of stuff after the word skins, but I kind of focused in. Tell me what's coming in the skin department.
All about the skins with you, Rachel, huh?
I like
All right.
fresh.
All right. I'll give you a hint of what's to come. In the past, we've randomly assigned operators to organizations. This time, we're kind of flipping the script.
Skin en el pilot program.
They're going to have a lot more, I would say, on-brand cosmetics coming their way. So you'll see a lot of stuff that fits the brands that you know and love in our scene.
Que se van a centrar más en la marca real del club a la hora de diseñar estos uniformes o skins.
I'm with you. I'm after those skins. But no, I'm super proud of what Stuart and the team have designed here. We've tested our revenue share program with phase 1 and phase 2, and we're super confident that this is scalable and sustainable long term. And now, with a 4-year plan in place, we know that this is built to last as much as we're here
esa
to
fase
stay.
1 y fase 2 del pilot program, están muy contentos con ello, por lo tanto alargarán este share revenue como lo conocemos ahora.
Y que ya van pensando en un programa de 4 años en adelante. Eso es muy importante también.
I think I just want to say thank you to everyone's here. We have over 25 countries represented through community members, teams, competitors. Everyone in this arena, thank you so much for coming out and appreciating Rainbow Six Siege with all of us here.
Agradecimiento para toda la gente que ha formado parte de este Six Invitational de una manera o de otra. El público obviamente responde también con aplausos.
25 países de representación.
Right, and I think from my side, going back to your very first question, is this the biggest change for Rainbow Six Siege? My answer was yes, and hopefully now that we had this panel, we were able to convince you all of this as well. If that is not the case,
ojo lo que viene ahora.
We have one more big item coming up, and 3 million smaller items. Yes, that means the prize pool has reached $3 million.
3 millones de prize pool ha sido lo que ha crecido. Lo habían anunciado ya antes y de hecho que todavía queda un gran martillo.
Non-stop incredible news from the Rainbow Six team. Thank you so much, Wei. Thank you, Stuart, for coming out here to break this down. Now, we have our production team coming out here next to talk about Year 5 and Year 6.
Falta un último vídeo antes de cerrar este panel.
Ça fait maintenant 4 ans que ce jeu est live. Il y a énormément de changements qu'on veut apporter. Cette planification dont on parle à 2 ans, c'est une planification qu'on a faite avec l'ancienne core team. L'idée, ça va être vraiment d'explorer des nouveaux champs de gameplay, de retravailler des pans entiers du jeu qu'on avait laissé un petit peu tel quel depuis le chip du jeu. On s'inscrit vraiment dans l'objectif de parachever la vision originale de ce jeu.
We're planning 2 years ahead for the future of Rainbow Six Siege, and it's very exciting for us. The year 5 is going to be a hybrid year, a mix of what we have today and what we'll have in the future with year 6. The first half of year 5, season 1 and season 2, will be very familiar for everyone, and we're going to have a couple of additions. 2 operators per season, map reworks, and in-game events are going to be the core of what we're going to be delivering. On top of that, we're going to be adding arcade playlists and, of course, the Battle Pass. Now, for Season 3 and Season 4, things will start getting closer to our ambitions for the future. We'll keep map reworks, in-game events, and Battle Pass, and yes, this will be the time we switch to delivering 1 operator per season instead of 2, which in turn will be counterbalanced with new core gameplay content, plus we'll be delivering more narrative behind our new operators to our players. For year 6, the goal is going to be threefold. Number 1, Battle Pass and new operator will kick off the season along with our regular seasonal updates. Number 2, by this time, we have established our core gameplay-centric philosophy. Features and operator reworks will drop throughout the season, rather than right at the beginning. giving us the flexibility to deliver this content when it's ready and keep some surprises for the players. And number 3, finally, arcade playlists will become more frequent throughout the season.
The reason that we're trying to move towards core gameplay centric is that we're in a very different context than we were about 4 years ago when we released. In that context, we had only 20 operators. Today, we have more than 50 operators, and so we feel like each of the new operators that we're adding to the game has a bit less impact than it did before. We're still targeting 100 operators, and we still want a lot more operators in the game. But we feel like we need to readjust a bit where we're putting our priorities and invest a bit more time and energy in things that have an impact on each of the rounds that you're playing while playing the game. We have a few first examples. We want to give you more communication tools, and by doing that, we're also trying to give you more ways to have an impact as an attacker during the preparation phase by spotting things in advance and sharing that information with your teammates. So other gameplay changes that you can expect and will affect everyone's gameplay are generic gadgets. So our standard gadgets that all operators can equip, or at least several of them. You can expect more of them during the next year. We're already working on several prototypes, but there's a lot more to come for sure. Coming forward, what we're going to do is to define tweaks as the little changes on operators, things that might have some code changes but are going to remain relatively small in scope. And what we will call rework will be big changes that completely changes the way and redefines the way that you play an operator. In year 5, you can expect a complete overhaul and rework of Tashanka.
On year 5, every season we'll have a major event. Our goal is really to improve gameplay, make sure that we explore different avenues and create that different experience to the players. So this year we're happy to release the arcade playlist for a 4-day period. Our goal is to address gameplay modifiers, small minimum changes to the gameplay. For the first half, we want to release 1 per season, and by the second half of year 5, we would like to release multiple of them. The first arcade playlist that we want to release during season 1 will be the golden gun that we're about to introduce this spring. Everybody's equipped with 1 pistol, 1 bullet in the magazine, and you need to reload every time you shoot. It's small, it's not big, but it will change the pace during the week.
Pendant l'année 4, on a mis le pick and ban qui permettait d'avoir du contrôle sur quels héros vont être lors de la partie que les joueurs vont jouer. Et dans l'année 5, on va vouloir mettre le map veto qui va pouvoir donner du contrôle sur la map que vous allez jouer juste avant le début du match. Donc en année 6, on est en train de travailler sur un nouveau mode de jeu qui va mettre en avant les joueurs qui jouent en équipe, dans laquelle ils affronteront d'autres équipes pour savoir qui sont les meilleurs.
Le plus gros changement qui est à venir pour Year 5 est la mise en place d'un système de réputation. Le point le plus important est de savoir que les joueurs auront un niveau de réputation et que dépendamment de ce niveau de réputation, des rewards et des sanctions seront déclenchées. Le joueur sera toujours en contrôle de sa réputation et sera toujours au courant de qu'est-ce qui se passe via des notifications récurrentes.
We are investing in those core gameplay experiences and using all that power to really bring more experiences to everyone who jumps and plays Rainbow Six Siege.
And also it means that we're able to plan in advance for much deeper changes, things that require a lot more testing, a lot more preparation, things that are more complex. So it allows us actually to have a lot more freedom in what we're preparing for the future of Rainbow Six.
C'est un jeu qui va continuer à se déployer, qui va continuer à évoluer et qui va essayer de tendre vers son plein potentiel et sa pleine maturité. Il s'agit vraiment d'investir plus pour tout le monde.
Vaya locura de vídeo, vaya lo que viene en Rainbow Six en el futuro.
Estábamos aquí escribiendo como locos.
Espero que se paren en cada una de estas cosas porque tengo muchas ganas de hablar de todas ellas. Tengo un resumen preparado, pero vamos a ver si van parando uno por uno en cada uno de los cambios. Porque hay muchos muy importantes.
I mean, it's crazy. Just watching the whole arena filled up, watching everything, the Six Invitational coming together. Shout out to all the teams that worked on it. It's exhilarating. There's a lot of emotions right now.
Lo que se siente estar dentro de esa arena de Montreal.
I can't wait to spill some tea.
Oh, and you guys have brought the finest of teas for our audience here today and everybody at home. So let's get right into it. Roy, we usually talk about the upcoming year on these panels. In this case, year 5. We're already talking about year 6. Why is that?
Yeah, so the first thing that I have to get out there is the fact that the possibility of being able to talk about year 6 when we are entering year 5.
Vamos a cambiar a tener un solo agente por año, pero les va a permitir centrarse en la experiencia de juego, en el núcleo de juego y mejorar cosas. Me parece un avance necesario con el objetivo que decían de 100 agentes en el juego, pero viable de cara a mejorar no solamente el map pool o la cantidad de agentes que tenemos a disposición, sino también el propio juego.
Es algo así como un, entre comillas, Operation Health continuado.
Que es más que necesario y que yo creo que va a ayudar muchísimo al título.
Yeah, so year 6 is a must to understand all of the changes that are happening in year 5. As unofficially, some of you know, some of the changes that are happening in year 5 are coming up. And when we step back and we look at year 6, obviously the most salient aspect of it is that we're going to be delivering one operator per season.
Hablaba como este año 5 va a ser un híbrido entre lo que tenemos ahora y el futuro del juego, como este año 5 la mitad van a ser con 2 operadores por cada season y la otra mitad con un operador y un rework o un rediseño
hablando de rework
del juego y de hablar el
bueno, se ha enseñado el del Lord por fin
rework core gameplay focused philosophy, dive deeper into those aspects. It's allowing us to polish a little bit more our operators and the operators that we're going to be bringing into the roster of 50 plus operators that we have today.
Que no funcionan correctamente y pulir agentes.
Sí, nos hablaban en el vídeo entre la diferencia que hay que entender entre rework y rediseño. Hay que entender la diferencia de esas dos palabras.
Next gen in the coming years, absolutely. Again, it's really great. It's really investing into the future of Rainbow Six Siege, and this is the right time to do it. So we're very happy.
Hablando de que es una inversión muy fuerte, y cierto es que esto es un all-in por parte de Ubisoft. Ya no es un juego fuerte dentro de la compañía francesa, es el más fuerte.
So I'll try to take a few examples, and to bounce back on what Roy said, it's really good to talk about this because thanks to the fact that we're bringing a bit less operator per year, we can be very ambitious about the other aspects of the gameplay, which are very important for us.
Polo dice, al traer menos agentes, podrán trabajar realmente, podrán echar las manos en mejorar los aspectos del juego.
De hecho, un aspecto muy importante es ser más ambiciosos con lo que queremos con el juego. Agentes más complejos, que sean decisivos en el meta, tanto de ranked como de competitivo.
The most meaningful thing that you can often do during the preparation phase is to just drive your drone back to your spawn point and then get it back in inventory. That doesn't feel like a super useful thing to do with your 45 seconds. And so right now we're prototyping things that could change a lot what's happening during this phase.
Hablando de ese cambio que ya llega esta temporada, que es que el drone saldrá contigo en el spawn, también hay cambio en el escombro. Cosas que ya parecen menores, pero que ayudan muchísimo a la salud del juego.
That happens a lot. I do it. But the thing is, we could give you very good reasons not to do that. We could give you much higher stakes in what's happening there and much better tools to have an impact on the round. So these are the kind of things that we're looking at right now. They're very ambitious and have a lot of ramifications in different aspects of the game, in game balancing and all. But the fact that we can plan 2 years in advance like that is allowing us to be that ambitious. And I'm super happy about it because it means we have a real chance of bringing Siege gameplay to the next level.
Hablando de llevar el gameplay de Rainbow Six al siguiente nivel a través de esa reducción de carga de trabajo con los agentes que les permite centrar esfuerzos en mejorar este tipo de aspectos que acaba de comentar. O sea que muy interesante también el balance del juego.
Siege is all about meaningful choices, but some of the things that we've gotten used to are not that meaningful when we look at them like that. Typically, a system like speed and armor, it was meant to be a trade-off when it was designed years ago, but when we look at how Siege is being played today, the reality is that speed is king, and armor doesn't matter that much.
So
we're pretty convinced we can make that more interesting.
Dice que tenía mucho sentido cuando el juego salió, pero que cada vez lo va teniendo un poquito menos.
Rate of fire is king also in Siege, and so if you play DMR right now, you're really dedicated to a specific kind of gameplay, but most people don't really do that. So we're pretty convinced too that we can find weapon families that are underused and give you very good ways to play these weapons a lot more often and make it a more meaningful choice.
Well, it sounds like you guys are really taking an approach where instead of putting a fresh coat of paint on it or a new hat is to go back inside and to rearrange the existing content to really fine-tune that.
That's exactly it. Las familias de armas para que todas sean viables.
That's the third aspect of what we're trying to do during these next 2 years. We really want to focus on the existing content and we want to rework it progressively. We've done that a lot more in the past year for maps, for instance, and we've seen a lot of success in that. We've seen that it's really something that we have a lot of positive feedback on, and we want to do that more often for the other aspects of the gameplay, like the operators, for instance.
Tuvieron una buena acogida en los reworks de mapas y quieren llevarlo también a seguir haciéndolos y quizá hacer reworks también de los personajes, de los agentes.
Absolutely. So, as I said before, Year 5 is going to be that hybrid year that is going to take us to Year 6. So the first half of Year 5, it's pretty much what
el operador, el agente, perdón, de esa Season 3 es de identidad clasificada, ¿no? De esa nacionalidad clasificada.
Habrá que mirar de un país que aún no existe.
Habrá que mirar Reddit.
Which this time around, we're going to have, this is the time that we bring one operator per season, and as well, we're adding more arcade playlist into the mix.
And you're already teasing the future operators, right?
Hablaban un poco de lo que decíamos antes, ¿no? Este año 5 va a ser un poco más híbrido. Tendremos sobre todo esas arcade playlists a la mitad de año de cara al final.
Y ojalá los cambios que pueden venir ya en ese primer retoque del core, del núcleo del juego y los rewards. Mucho cuidado con eso, ¿eh?
Sobre todo lo que me parece muy interesante es que no te especifican qué es lo que van a cambiar, sino que se dan esa cancha para decir, bueno, tenemos 2 años en lo que arreglar cositas. No os diremos el qué, pero lo iréis viendo.
O detectar que hace falta cambiar.
Talking about the map reworks. We were introduced to the map rework for Oregon yesterday, but I saw 3 more reworks on there. The first one looking like House.
Yep, absolutely. House.
Oh, casa rework.
¿Y dónde haremos la
Ojo, que enseñan cosas.
Yeah,
so let's go. Ahora es mansión, ya no es casa.
I guess they like it.
I don't think I need to say more.
Good job, Roy.
Yeah.
Me voy a tirar por ese tobogán, Polo. Me voy a tirar por ese tobogán.
The reality of House is that it's a casual rework. Basically,
muy bien.
Okay.
Más iluminación al menos.
Van arreglando la casa.
Basically, what we're doing is we're just making it a little bit bigger. We're adding an extra set of stairs.
Bueno, la han ordenado.
Exacto.
Han hecho la cama.
Han venido los hermanos de las reformas.
No, además parece ser que la están haciendo un poco más grande. Dice que han hecho un par de escaleras más.
¿Ves? Aquí estaba la parte de afuera y aquí ya hay unas habitaciones más.
It's a great rework. We're very excited for people to jump in and play it on Season 2.
Sounds like they're pretty excited too.
En la temporada 2, la primera llegará a Oregón.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it, folks.
Como decían en Twitter, dejará de ser Oregón para ser el nuevo Oregón.
We have so much more information. You guys are going to love this.
Yeah.
After House, I saw a skyscraper on the list.
Yeah, skyscraper. So we don't have a video for it.
Para enseñar también.
What I can say, however, is that we're gonna tackle that choke point that is drum room. So we're gonna fix that, and we're also gonna be tackling balconies. We're gonna force
de tambores. Sí, que era un punto de choque ahora mismo en ese mapa.
Now, how about Chalet?
So, the last one is Chalet. And Chalet, this is one that,
hay que ir con cuidado aquí, que es de mis mapas favoritos. Hay que ir con cuidado.
We know that we want to ease some of the frustration that we have on the floors, so that is going to be tackled. And of course, all of these map reworks come with as well balancing of the objectives. So let's keep things spicy from now on.
Es eliminar un poco esa frustración que sentimos al jugar esas partes débiles del mapa.
Algo que han conseguido con los nuevos mapas y los reworks que ya van trabajando, que muchos más puntos sean viables de jugar de verdad.
Behavior, all of that is still gonna come every season as always.
All right, well, thank you so much, Roy, for those insights. Very exciting information. JB, you're up once again. We're back to you. We've just been explaining ambitions for Year 6, but we also have some core gameplay stuff coming in Year 5.
Bueno, ahora hablando de los cambios estos que decían el núcleo del juego. ¿A qué te refieres? Cuéntanos.
The first one I want to talk about is the Ping
2.0 system. A la hora de poder piquear la utilidad y decir, vale, pues aquí lo que hay es un Capcan, aquí hay una alfombrilla de estas de Frost.
Esto para ranking es fundamental.
Es oro.
The positioning and the nature of gadgets that have been deployed in the environment, either by your teammates or by
También no solo con el dron, también con el agente podrás pinguear esa utilidad que hay dentro del mapa.
Yeah, not everybody can
Quiero
use a
decir que
microphone.
parece
Not
que se
everybody
queda ahí
wants
pingueado para
to.
siempre.
Now there's no excuse to not be working as a team, sharing that information.
Absolutely, and it ties back in what we were talking about before, which is trying
cambias el
to
ping
add
de sitio.
stakes in the preparation phase and the support
Imagino que
phase.
te da
This one
tiempo
being
igual
for
que el ping
both,
normal.
actually. It's a very, very useful way as an attacker to like use your time with your drone, because if you spot some traps that have been deployed, for instance, by Frost or Capcan, like we saw in here, this is an information that can remain potentially longer, and so it's really useful for your teams to just get that info. You don't need to make that perfect call and describe exactly where it is. The game is just going to help you do that.
Podrás spotear ese defuser al parecer.
Efectivamente.
Podéis spotear el defuser. Hemos visto cómo han añadido un punto en esas cámaras para poder apuntar.
Imagino que también será para los defensores. Si hay un air jab, si hay trampas de hilo, todo.
Exacto.
Have other plans in mind. We just want to put it in players' hand as fast as possible, so that will be during the first half of your 5, and so expect it on TS pretty soon.
Y esto estará dentro de muy pronto en el TS. Lo quieren meter en la primera mitad de este año 5.
And we also have new secondary gadgets coming into the game for the first time in a while. What can we expect?
Hace falta más que eso.
So indeed, I'm very, very happy that we can bring some new gadgets to the mix, because in general it's really
hemos visto en el vídeo un pequeño detector.
Han dicho que añadirían hasta 7. Que puede que haya más, pero que de momento tienen pensados para 7.
Buen ejemplo de lo que se referían con el núcleo, con tocar el núcleo del juego.
Tell me more.
So don't be afraid, it's always going to be a weaker version
aparte de la habilidad principal y el gadget
because we want them to remain the king of that domain of the game. But we feel like by adding some hard breaching to the mix in the secondary gadgets, we're going to free up a bit the composition in attacks and allow for more diverse compositions in teams. For instance, if you're attacking a bomb site where you know that your strat only relies on opening one specific hatch, you're going to have the possibility to just not be forced to pick a Hibana.
Parece ser que estos segundos gadgets podrían ser algo de hard bridge para todos los operadores que sean disponibles, por lo tanto no debes piquear solo Hibana.
No te limitas, solo el sensor de movimiento que veíamos.
Que lo tiene Smoke, y tiene 2.
Defenders have them in their pocket and they can just throw it anywhere, and it's going to be a
pero
great
no es combinable con alambre o con lo que demás, o sea que este es primario.
JB, there's another thing we haven't quite touched on yet. Now, this is going to be a big one for competitive players, for casual players, for content creators. What's coming?
Indeed, this is a huge thing. I'm talking about match replay.
¡Oh! ¡No! ¡No puede ser! Y con el nuevo observer, repeticiones de partidas para creadores de contenido, jugadores, absolutamente todo el mundo. Y ese overlay que hemos visto en este Six Invitational es el nuevo observer o la nueva interfaz de repeticiones. Espectacular.
Te viene. Bueno, fuera de los mods, cuando terminas un partido podrás grabar la VOD y podrás verla en el apartado de Watch. Porque nos hemos venido muy arriba también.
Also to the next level, because like you said, it can be used to create YouTube videos, it can be used to reanalyze your strats when you're playing as a pro player.
Que tiene esa herramienta, puedes usarlo para crear vídeos, puedes usarlo para analizar. Muy importante esta herramienta.
Espectacular, esto es Rainbow 7 ya.
In the test server during the first half of your 5-2.
Wow, so this is coming so soon, and this is such a big tool.
Hemos visto que en la repetición puedes poner el pop de otra persona, puedes poner la vista cenital, puedes hacer todo.
Es brutal, sobre todo para los equipos.
Puedes screamear con un equipo más grande que tú y ver cómo hacen las cosas desde arriba sin tener que tener todo grabado con un pop solo.
And JB, I know we're going through this pretty quickly here, but now we're on the topic of reworks.
So,
yeah, this is gonna be
room, I guess.
You know, JB, you guys said you were never gonna do this.
We did say that, huh?
Yeah, but it looks like you gone and done it.
Entiendo que dijeron que nunca iban a hacer un rework de
He's too
agente.
cute. We need our icon to be a playable operator, and added to that, we knew that it was actually costing a lot in terms of debugging, which is a bit paradoxical for someone who's never played. So we decided to get back on the drawing board, and we're reworking Tachanka.
Trabajando en volver a Tachanka viable.
Decían que no lo tocarían por el meme, pero oye, hay que cambiarlo para que sea jugable. Veremos qué le hace.
Hablando de los nuevos jugadores que llegan al juego y no entienden cómo funciona, lo juegan y bueno, pues se llevan una decepción, digamos.
So what are you guys doing to Chushenka?
¿Qué le han hecho?
So
Ojo.
the first thing, of course, is that the core of the issue is the turret itself. The concept of being immobile doesn't really fit with Siege gameplay, like you all know. So we've taken the weapon out of the turret, and as a first step, made it a primary weapon, meaning that you can just run around.
¡Es su arma primaria ahora! ¡Brutal!
Dime que le pones como Blackbird también el espejito, por favor.
And as you can see here, it has a huge amount of destruction power, so you can just use it for rotations, like it's a hell of a weapon.
Ahora sí que va a ser el
Pero ¿para qué quieres a Oryx entonces?
And
No te abre
then
paredes.
he's also
Wow.
getting a gadget.
Yeah, he's
¿Y el
also
gadget?
getting an ability which
Madre mía,
is
Tachanka OP.
an incendiary grenade launcher.
No puede ser.
¡Lanza granadas en defensa! Igual se han pasado, ¿eh?
And as you can see in game, it's pretty
¿Es de
wild.
fuego?
¡Es de fuego! No te puedo creer. ¿Esto está pasando de verdad?
No entiendo nada.
¿Pero cuántos tiene?
Esto es brutal. Esto para denegar plantes.
So
Esto
the
cuando
whole
faltan 15
concept
segundos.
Pero es mejor que Smoke. Pero es mejor que Smoke.
Esto es increíble.
Permaban.
Pretty much spam projectile with. It makes these little patches of fire on the ground.
Ha disparado
so you can
6.
use
Ha
them
disparado
just to
6.
slow down attack
Tachanka,
progression,
Jesucristo. O sea, que ha disparado 6.
the plant spot. So it's a sort of alternative to smoke, if you will.
He
Míralo,
looks
diciendo que puede
very
ser que lo
exciting.
puedes
And
utilizar
based
como
on the
smoke. ¿Pero qué
reaction
es
of the
esto?
crowd, I know you guys can't wait to get your hands on the new Tachanka.
Dime que está el lunes ya. Dime que está mañana ya.
Bueno. 20 Tachanka desde la beta, chicos.
But JV, you guys have gone and opened the floodgates now. You've changed Tachanka, so does that mean other reworks are on the table as well?
Yes, very much so. We really want to bring more reworks to the most problematic operators of Siege. I can't really get too specific right now, but we have other plans for year 6. And if you look regularly at the charts that we release that shows the most frustrating operators or the ones that are the least played, you can have a pretty good idea of who
Agentes
is next
frustrantes y
on
que se
our
jueguen
watch list.
muy poco.
JV, thank
Pero
you
no ha
so
dicho
much.
nombres.
This has
No ha
been
dicho
very
agentes.
exciting. So much great
ideas en la mano, pero no quiero decir
Anything
nada.
else you wanna
Imagino que
add?
Fuz es uno de ellos
Just
también.
super happy to be here.
Fantastic.
Pretty much it.
We all are, and I'm very excited now to bring in Alex to the conversation. We've been talking a little bit about stuff to come in the game, and one of the biggest things is events. In year 4, events have been huge.
Yes,
Hemos hablado de
we
los
know
picks de
we
mapas
got a
todavía,
large reception for all of the events in year 4.
Ahora
so we
hablan
want
de
to
los
double
eventos que han
down on
pasado en este
events
año
in year
4.
5.
Se quieren
One
centrar
every
mucho en
single
ellos,
season
Camiseta
and make
de
them bigger and
Tachanka.
better.
That's very exciting. So what have you decided to bring us now in year 5?
So on top of events, we have the arcade playlist now. And this is a
Lista
temporary
arcade.
game
Una nueva
mode
lista
that
de
will pop up
partidas.
really short, just for a weekend. And the first one we're talking about is something that's very near and dear to us. We grew up with first-person shooters
Golden
on the
Gun.
N64,
Una bala
so we're
muerto.
bringing a Golden Gun mode.
Golden Gun.
¿Es un todos contra todos? Parece que
That
no.
warms the heart, Alex.
¿Y Bolo?
Now this is just the start of what's to come for the playlist, right?
That's right. So
Tienes que
with the
disparar y
arcade
recargar cada
playlist,
vez que
we want
disparas.
to
Sí,
take
solo
little
mátate una bala.
elements, introduce something new, and then release more and more of them as the year goes on, and then once we get into year 6.
Do you guys have fun watching us play these games?
Heck yeah! Everybody's watching Twitch when we're playing and releasing these new things.
Well, speaking of changes in playlist, in addition to the arcade playlist, we saw another change coming. This one is a pretty big one. Got a lot of cheers from the crowd.
Yeah, so you asked for it. We're bringing map bans to Rainbow Six Siege.
Llegan baneos de mapas para el arranque, parece.
Esto era necesario, totalmente.
Muy
Y el mapa menos
Why don't you
baneado
tell
es
us
el que se
how
queda.
these map bans are going to work?
So whenever you start up a
Qué
ranked
maravilla.
playlist or unranked playlist, you jump in and you have 3 maps to choose from the pool. Both teams will vote on which ones
Todo
they
esto
want
en
banned.
ranked tiene un
The
ranked,
remaining one will be the one you play.
Clasificadas.
Fantastic. Couldn't be
Igualadas.
simpler. Now,
Salen
every
3
day of a
mapas,
Rainbow
una
Six
opción de no
online
banear y los
experience
dos
gets a little
equipos, los
more
10 jugadores van a
competitive.
elegir
You
qué
guys
mapa
are
se va a
taking it
jugar.
even a step further.
Right, so with map ban that's coming year 5, in year 6
en el
we're
año
already
5.
laying the groundwork
5.
for something that we're calling the Rainbow Six Cup.
Oh,
This is
con
taking the
squad
experience
remake
of
de
the
5.
SI here
Rainbow
and
Six
trying
Cup,
to
sí.
package it up for everyone at home so you can play with 4 friends
Esto es
in a
fantástico,
series
habilidad.
of
Podemos jugar
battles
los
to
bronces
find
también.
who's
Esto es
the best.
fantástico.
Gastas and Friends,
Sí, son copas.
Se reúnen.
Son copas que podrás
You're gonna
jugar
have a
desde
lot more
acceder
pros
desde dentro
on
del
the
juego,
next
basadas en tu rango.
que, bueno, se van a jugar bastante comúnmente.
A ver qué premio ponen.
I just want to address one thing that was brought up in the dev diary. As devs, as players ourselves, we have zero tolerance for toxicity, harassment, cheaters.
Tema de reputación.
And we're going to keep it up. So the player behavior cell is working on the biggest feature yet, which is the reputation system. Next time we talk about it, you'll actually see something. We're taking it very seriously. And it goes with all the other features that we're bringing in year 5, year 6, all this core gameplay. We're excited to deliver more to all of you over and over again. Make Siege a better game.
You guys are all working so hard on that, and you have a
Sistema de
wonderful
reputación que aparte se enseñaban en el vídeo que tendría premios para el nivel más alto, nivel 3 y 4, que tendría ciertos premios.
Y castigos para los más bajos.
Sí, obviamente.
Now, before we head to the culmination of the program CGI, we have one more surprise. We paired up with Crystal Dynamics to bring you a very special skin.
Creo que tenemos un vídeo muy especial que cierra un ciclo. Vamos con él.
Skin de Ash, decía. Skin de Ash.
¡Esto Raider! ¡Calla! ¡No! Es un personaje de Ubisoft muy carismático femenino. Por determinar.
¿Dónde tengo el monedero?
Esto es increíble. Que fue el primer juego,